Hello again and welcome back to another altered book art journal video. So today I decided to do this page because I thought it was pretty cool. It has like a really cool image of a rooftop bar, I guess, in London, which I thought might be nice to pop a couple of people in there and do a kind of more illustrative style of page. So I didn't stick too much in, but in the end I do cover a lot of this in paint. So here are some bits that I'm popping in, just a couple of the colours that kind of match that page there, and some other bits and pieces. So here I am just sticking in some text over some more text because that makes complete sense. And then this little triangle bit is from a birthday card which had these cool little gold dots on it, which I thought might be pretty cool to bring in as like a little pattern. And then I brought this yellow in because it perfectly matched that yellow of the seat, and I thought I could draw over it and kind of bring the seat back. But as you'll see later on, I completely cover the page with paint and I don't even know what's under the paint anymore. So I was putting strips across there so I could bring the yellow across both pages. And then I also popped some little dots at the top of the green and yellow. That green doesn't really match the grass that well, but when the paint's on you can't even tell. So I'm using that yellow paint, the same PaperArtsy paint that I used in the last video, which I'm probably going to use in every single one of these videos, just because I want to keep the colour palette quite similar throughout the entire book. And I painted over that bush there because in my head I was like, I'll just paint over this bush and then I'll draw a bush on top of the bush. In the end, I think I painted over it because I didn't like it. Should have just kept the bush there. So I'm just putting all the like underlying paint stuff on, like texture, colour. I go a little bit crazy. I was like, I'm not going to go crazy, and I'm just going to put a little bit down so you can see that image in the background, and then I went crazy. But the thing I really like about doing these art journal pages is that normally when I'm doing drawing or like watercolour stuff in the evenings, I'm trying to learn a technique or improve something, and here it's kind of just making a mess and having fun and just using the art materials, which is kind of cool because you can turn your brain off and just make a mess. So I really do like doing this, but I also kind of feel the back of my head guilty because I do want to improve my art a lot more, and I keep thinking in the back of my head, oh, I really should be doing like figure studies, or I should be learning how to use watercolour better. But at the end of the day, you got to have fun too, right? You can't just be learning all the time. So I'm going in with the Derwent Graphik Sepia pens. I kind of go over this again in black because you can't really see the sepia very well with this colour, with the colours in the background, like the bricks. And then here I'm doing that bush that I said. So I painted over a bush and then I drew a bush back over it, but I didn't like it in the end. So it doesn't stay. And then I have these pencils that I got in the scroller box last month. I'll pop them in the description. I can't remember what they are, but they're like watercolour pencils. And they have a really cool colour palette, like a super muted, and it goes really well with this. That's masking tape on there because I ripped the page. Like, I completely tore it in half almost. So I fixed that with masking tape, but I think it looks okay. Oh, and then I'm using the Winsor & Newton gold ink, which I've only used once, and all I know about it is it looks really cool and you have to stir it a lot. So I'm just stirring it, and yeah, I finished. So I'm just popping the dots in. I kind of go off the pattern because spacing out dots, I guess I'm not very good at it. I don't know if there are people in the world that have a talent for spacing dots correctly, but if they do, props to them because it's quite difficult. I really love this gold ink. It's so nice. Even though you have to stir it a whole bunch, and basically you have to stir it in between every like time you put it on the paper, it looks so cool at the end. So I was trying to do some drippy bits there, which didn't really work very well because I think the ink was too thick. So I just help it along a little bit with some water. And I kind of love that gold on the desk there. Oh, I should have just left it and let it sink in. So that's kind of like the base layer and the second layer done, I guess. And now I was thinking about what I can draw. So I decided to go in with the Posca pen because I thought, oh, you know what? I'll just make this sky here completely blue because that will look awesomely realistic. And I coloured it all in with the Posca pen, and I love this colour. But as soon as I did it, I immediately regretted it. I was like, oh my god, it just looks like a blue box now. So I tried to get rid of it. Turns out Posca pens are quite permanent. But I went at it with a tissue paper, and I actually really like how it turned out. You can kind of see some bits behind it, but then it's really cool and blue. And then these are the ladies that I'm drawing. I just sketched them out so I could see what they look like because it's really hard to draw them onto the page. I couldn't really see what I was drawing. So I transferred them on and went over with a pen. And the reason why they're naked is a couple of reasons. One, because I've been doing quite a bit of life drawing studies from Croquis Cafe lately, and I've just been enjoying drawing naked ladies, I guess. And the other reason is I'm not very good at drawing clothes, so I thought, hey, they'll just be naked. Maybe they're nudists, or maybe it's just really hot out. So I just put like a really thin layer of this bone colour paint on so they stand out from the background. So they're just having a little tea party on top of the roof. Maybe it's afternoon tea, or maybe they're gossiping about their friends or something. I just thought it was kind of a cool little concept that these two naked ladies were just sitting there chilling, having a cup of Earl Grey. Then I'm popping some yellow on the side there. I covered that bush, which I didn't like, and I kind of brought the yellow in. It's not really the same yellow, but I quite like it. So I thought it would be really cool to have some teacups kind of floating across the page. So I sketched them out, and then I went over with that same paint. And I didn't want it to be too thick. I wanted you to be able to see the background beneath it, so I kind of scrubbed it out. And even though the pages in this book, they're only one layer of pages, I kind of really go hard at it with the scrubbing and the water, and they held up really well. And then I thought I better go in with the brush pen because, oh look, there I am. I thought I better go in with the brush pen because you couldn't see that line very well, and I didn't really like how it was one line weight. So I thought I'd go in with the brush pen because brush pens are awesome, as you guys probably already know. This one is the Pitt artist pen, and the nib is a lot firmer than on the Pentel brush pen, which is the only other brush pen I've used, which I think is pretty cool because you can press down pretty hard and it feels like you have more control. And then I decided to do some weird horizon line, and I didn't like it, so I got rid of it. I do that quite a lot in this page. I think I'm gonna like something and then I don't. I got rid of all that black line because I thought it was too harsh. So now I'm just moving on to the teacups, and I basically just do the same as with the ladies. So I just kind of scribble it in pencil first, and then I go around it in brush pen later. And I thought I'd do a little darker background there, just because, I guess. So I guess if this page had a theme, it would be tea time. Which, ironically, I don't actually like tea. I'm much more of a coffee girl myself. So this is the only close-up that I filmed because I kept forgetting. So enjoy these dots while you can. And then when I get to the top, I realise, I should probably put another teacup there because it looks a bit empty. So I just freestyle a teacup because by now I'm a pro at drawing teacups. Something about all the teacups reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, like the tea party. If Alice in Wonderland was on a rooftop bar in London, naked. And then I pop a little bit of blue on the side to kind of bring that in on that side of the page. I really love all these colours, how they work together actually. I love that Posca pen, that blue, it's so nice. And then I thought I would go in and put some tea into the teacups. That pencil didn't really work very well, so I decided to use a Posca pen again. And I thought I could activate all of this with water, like I did with the one with the little stripy bit on the left. But it turns out Posca pens dry really fast and then they're like permanent. Who would have known? I guess people that use Posca pens. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think I kind of mess around a little bit more, put in like little bits and scribbles here and there, but overall that's the page. So I really like drawing this page a lot better than the last one because I think I'm getting a bit more comfortable kind of doing mixed media stuff and kind of letting loose and experimenting a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the page. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create this mess that you see in front of you, and hopefully you'll join me in the next video when I create another mess. Thanks for watching, bye!